basically starts shit with you and wants to argue with you all the time.
Okay.
What you doing?
Nothing. Keep going.
Are you recording me?
Keep going.
Alright. Okay, well the bottom line is if you really want to get somewhere on YouTube, you gotta find a target audience.
Oh wait. Move closer to the light, please.
Are you?
Yeah. Okay. Go.
Thing is though, a target audience is especially determined upon what you're good at. For example, the only reason I get so many views on rants I do is because I piss so many people that disagree with me off. Not because I broadly insult them, because I use their own fucking logic to make them look stupid. Like that video I made about the Jehovah's Witnesses, I don't know if I uploaded that or not.
I don't think it never appeared on your wall.
Yeah, I think it got corrupted. It probably did because I was in a big fucking hurry that day and wasn't paying attention to shit.
Well, do it again. Well, if you.
You mean now?
Well, not now. When you
Well,
have time.
I'll do a redo of it once I get more time. Okay, remember that Super Shockwave guy, for example?
Oh God.
Well, the reason that kid got so pissed off is because I used his own statements to just prove how incredibly biased he was. Like when he called sex stupid. Yes, sex is a very abstract concept for a kid to think
Here,
of.
hold this.
What?
Hold this.
Thing is, though, sex may be an abstract concept for a kid to think of, especially since a kid that's like 12 to 13 years old. But at the same time, you can't just label something you don't understand as stupid because it makes you look very closed-minded. And for that sole reason, you can't exactly just label people however you choose to have them spoken. And this is turning into a house tour. Just stand here, I guess.
Yeah. Keep going.
Thing is, though, if you really have a target audience, you need to make sure that you connect with said audience. You have to make sure that they can tell that you're just a person like them. Like, even if you're, well, for example, a loudmouth asshole like I am, you still have some people that will agree with you because when you point out how biased or how incredibly ill-advised some advice people give is, the people that agree with you will just nod their head and say, okay, this guy has a point.
Ignore the sound in the background. That's just the clock.
Merry fucking Christmas. A day late. Thing is, though, the more you connect with your audience, the easier it is for your audience to like you. And the easier the audience likes you, the more your channel can pick up subs and increase ratings. But another thing is you have to be careful with, well, you have to be careful with copyrights. Like, you can't use certain music in your videos, or you could be sued, or have to pay the monetization directly to the user, or, like for bigger YouTubers, for example, you're not allowed to use parts of their video unless you pay them, or unless the monetization that you would make from the video goes directly to them. I'm not going to mention a certain YouTuber that I dislike happens to have this very thing. Which means 3 of the videos I made towards him were demonetized by the channel because, well, they used his voice. Like, it was just his voice, nothing else. And I ended up losing funding for that. But the bottom line is here, the reason so many audiences are able to connect with a particular content creator easier than others, it's not just because of the content creator themselves, it's because of what the audience is into. Since most of the audience nowadays are millennials, which are, well, the X generation would be like 90s and on, like the late 90s to mid 90s to, well, to 1999. And the Y generation millennials would be 2000 to 2016. But the Y generation doesn't like people who are upfront. They like people who will just use like very catchy titles or very flashy thumbnails to get their attention. Because let's just face it, okay? I really hate saying this because I don't want to seem like I'm being too harsh on them, but the Y generation of millennials pretty much has the combined intellectual stability of a sheep. I really hate to say that because I'm not trying to call kids stupid, but I am saying that if you make content that's shiny, apparently like a bunch of birds, they'll flock to it and check it out. And it's harder for smaller channels to grow simply because, well, some of them haven't yet found their audience, and it takes longer to find an audience because it's a lot harder to find what you're good at. The only reason I'm good at ranting is because I was good at debating in high school. Like, that's the only reason I really got into it, because I started watching channels like Take Shot Action, Some Guy 827. people like that, it's like, well, these guys are actually pretty fucking smart, and they actually have a lot of shit to say, which I actually find kind of fucking funny, because they will literally use someone's own statement to bust their fucking balls to pieces. And I can just laugh my ass off all day long when they point out how much of a fucking idiot somebody is for saying incredibly biased things and trying to always pass them off as fact. However, there are also a lot of drawbacks. Like, my channel has grown only a little bit, but it's grown significantly compared to how I started. Like, I started with only a couple small subs, like 2 subs. Yep, someone I know. And a couple other people that I knew also liked what I did and joined in. And the next thing I knew, like, strangers who actually saw some of my videos in the related videos bar, saw the videos, clicked them out of curiosity, liked them, shared them, and next thing I know, I started getting more views, and I have close to well over 1,000 views now.
You're fucking lucky.
Well, it's not really luck, it's just, you just happen to do the right thing at the right time, but it's not really luck. It's more or less just a convenient string of coincidences. But the hardest thing about really finding a target audience is just making sure you can appeal to said audience. I mean, think about it. If you ever see my channel, you can tell there's a fair share of thumbs down because, well, let's face it, a lot of people don't like how blunt I am about things. Like when I made that video to Black Lives Matter. That video probably has 9 thumbs down and 2 thumbs up. So that goes, 2 people agreed with me because I told them to stop claiming they were victims, and 9 people freaked the fuck out because they thought I was trying to be racist. Which I wasn't, because I didn't use racial stereotypes, I didn't use racial slurs. I just said that instead of making everything a racial issue, we should just make it a person issue. As in, work together as people, regardless of race, to resolve an issue that affects all of us. And when I pointed out some statistics, well, a lot of people lost their fucking minds. If you really want to get down to brass tacks about how YouTube works, it's pretty simple. The best way to just really get subs is to go about it as though you would go about anything else. Just take it one day at a time and see where it takes you. Otherwise, you're going to end up setting yourself up for disappointment, and you're going to feel really shitty about yourself when it's really not your fault. And this goes for any content creator. However, need I remind you that YouTube is also not a place to settle your personal vendettas. So do not shit on people that you know personally just so you can make other people on YouTube go after them. Yes, I say some shitty things about people I don't like on the site, but it's for things they have done on the site to me, and not things they have done in their personal lives. And I would not want them to be apologize to their personal lives. Because let's face it, even I, some loudmouth asshole on the internet, have boundaries. And those boundaries are, if it goes off the camera and it affects this person in their actual life outside YouTube, then that means it should not happen. Like, for example, I don't like marbles and I don't like Geber Goose or Geber, but I'm not going to tell people to fucking email their fucking inbox full of spam and shit that would get them arrested. That's why I blocked them, to avoid all the bullshit. And remember, you're always going to have your fair share of troll comments and pissed off people bitching about what you have to say if you disagree. That's just how YouTube works. But the best thing to do, if someone disagrees with you, you should point out why their opinion could be wrong. Use their own logic and facts against them. Don't get into a shouting match. I mean, think about it. When the Super Shockwave guy attacked me on my channel, I did what I never should have done. Now, I never threatened him, but at the same time, I should not have engaged him. I should have had just told him the reasons why I disagree with him. But I did that in the video, so it felt redundant. So instead, I just proceeded to tell him to fuck off. Which I only did because he was harassing me. But at the same time, I would not send people to harass him, because it's just not right to send people after somebody like that. If you really just want to finish this up, all I have to say is, if you really want to get a good start on YouTube, you need to try to remember the 3 biggest rules. There are always going to be people that are going to be disagreeing with you. There are always going to be someone that's going to be pissed off about something you say. And you must always try to be as civil as you possibly can, even if it means you have to block someone to prevent them from starting shit on your channel. And I'm not saying you should just block someone for disagreeing with you right out, But I'm saying that if they harass you, you should probably block them just to prevent more problems. Because you don't want to be known as the guy who ends up threatening someone's well-being. I mean, Minnesota Burns did that, and Steve caught that on video. And, of course, well, you know his channel's completely fucked now, like he has nothing. He was demonetized, he was stripped of his partnership, and now he's not even allowed on video. Same thing with Brett Kane's little hard ass. Well, just let me know when you're finished up here, because I'm running out of air.
And done.